Your mind is limitless. The possibilities are endless. Awaken Your Mind Magic shows you how you can dream limitlessly and live your life on a new level. Susan Kathleen speaks with ordinary people who are living extraordinary lives using the power of their mind.
Gold on the inside, silver on the outside. Gold on the inside, silver on the outside.
Abundance, prosperity, and success. There are no limits to what you can dream. Join Susan Kathleen on a journey into your dreams, making a difference and living life on your own terms. This is Awaken Your Mind Magic.
Hello and welcome everyone. My guest speaker today is Nicole Borghi, who lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. Nicole is a soulful coach, crystal Reiki Master, psychic surgeon, and psychic medium, channeling heartfelt healing energies. She is a speaker on spiritual education who conducts tantalizing talks on transformation. She's also the host of the show Soulful Illumination on Oneness Talk Radio and is a soulful coach empowering her clients to possess a meaningful relationship with the true self, others, nature, and the spirit world. Nicole assists them in moving forward beyond limiting beliefs, reduces stress, unhealthy habits, and rewiring the brain. She guides clients on how to go within and seek genuine self-inquiry to thrust forward into a greater self-dynamic. She also shares life hacks, simple steps to integrate into today's fast-paced society, taking the teachings of the old world traditions and merging it into fun, fascination, and real-time magical transformation. She's a girl after my heart. The word magic is there. Perfect. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you, Suzanne, for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be here on your show.
I am absolutely thrilled to have you on Awaken Your Mind Magic, and I can't wait to share everything about you with our listeners.
Thank you, and I'm so glad to share it with your listeners, being part of this tribe and the group, and always and ever expanding the conscious conversation.
Absolutely. Nicole, there's so many different things that you're qualified at, and also you are gifted in the third sight and being able to see things that are invisible to many. Please tell us all about your awakening, your story.
Well, it started when I was a young girl and I really saw beings, and I kind of talked to my dolls, or so I thought. I was just talking to my dolls, and each and every one had a character, and it expanded as I grew to up, and I was about 8 or 9 when my mother and I started working with haunted houses. We started working with developing our third eye, our intuition, our psychic visions, and expanding and starting to understand that, working to help other people to clear that negative energy within their homes. What we didn't know was that negative energy is everywhere, and energy is constant. And if you move energy from one place to the next, dark or light at the time, you're really just the conduit, and you're kind of taking that on unless you're shielding yourself. And if you don't protect yourself, you hold that energy like a magnet and a sponge, and it just sinks into you. Changes your thought process, it changes your life, and you start manifesting. We use a lot of manifestation nowadays, the word. You start manifesting that negativity, and it just snowballs down to anger, pain, depression. It can cause certain physical pain, inflammation. And didn't have the greatest diet, and didn't realize until I was an adult coming back to this that how it affected me to be in the hospital or to be sick or to see a doctor. And when there's no symptoms, there's a symptom somewhere. The symptom was always in my soul. It was at a soul and a cellular level. And so I was holding on to that lineage, and I was trying to protect the people around me. And so I absorbed that and felt that I was always the rescuer, the consummate survivor all the time. And it was time to get out of that. So as an adult, I came back into it in my 40s and decided, hey, you know what? The earth needs to heal. I need to heal. And in healing myself, I could help others heal as well and come back to this and work with those energies, understanding how to protect myself and others. They never really scared me. It was never the third dimension or the other realms that were scary. It was always this world that I didn't understand and I couldn't navigate. And that was just odd because we're so blocked off as human beings to our third eye, to our intuition. Our hearts are just closed. And that just reflects everything that we do so much that, we don't seek our help. We don't open up to our faith, our conscious, our creation, our source, a God or a creator, however you want to put it. We don't open up to that. And in doing so, we close off and we hurt ourselves. It's like a flower not opening up to the water or the sunshine. You need to feed with that. And if you sow a seed that is no good, then that seed will never bloom or grow. And you can never prosper with it and harvest. And you can't have the full circle of life. And that's what happened. When I came back into this and I started to heal myself, I started it with Reiki and noticing that all energy is there for healing purposes if you utilize it correctly. And in so doing that, you want to heal others because you want everybody else to feel, oh my gosh, this is amazing, right? I'm curing this or I'm healing this with so many other things. And the food that I'm taking in or the sleep that I'm getting, the exercise I'm getting affects the energy. How do you allow it to come into your body? Are you allowing that food to be at a higher level, no matter how your diet is? Are you giving some good energy? Are you blessing that food before you intake it and saying thank you for bringing this nutrition into my body and understanding how dollar store kind of nutrition works for you, because you can get vegetables anywhere. It doesn't have to be at a certain store, and you shouldn't have to fight yourself for that. So that whole mindset from the beginning to the end to your mouth, and how you love it coming into your body, and how do you align that together, the brain, the heart, and the stomach. It's one unit, and without it all working synergistically together, you can't heal at a cellular level. It's not balanced. And so really working with that balance and that energy. And it's the perfect time now to heal, to help heal others and heal the earth.
That is an incredible story. Now I'm going to revert back to you as a child. When you went into these haunted houses to literally find black shades, bad entities, bad energy, how old were you?
I was about 8 or 9.
And why were you taken at that age to go and do it? Because of your gifts?
Yes, because of my gifts, because I didn't have the fear of it. That it didn't scare me to look at these entities. That is my gift, is to work in that chaos and to work in that darkness. And not everybody has that gift, and not everybody should be there in that point. It's not for everybody. And to be able to deflect it without it harming me now as an adult, I can see how I walk through that and walk through those realms and the dimensions to do that. And also to be the light bearer, to hold the light.
That's fascinating. Were you going into portals, into different dimensions, and chasing these bad energies back away? do they dissolve, or what happens?
Well, really for me now, it's sending them to the light. But before it was just contacting them. And at the time that I was younger, when I go back into that time and detach and look at the almost like a graphic, looking at it like a map, being able to look at the video without feeling into it and bringing the harm back. It's really replaying that moment. It's really going into the shift of the dimensions and the portals and being able to see what's going on, being able to talk to the beings in their language, what they want, why are they here? Not all of them are here to harm. A lot of times we feel the negativity because we can't feel the feelings. Even God, that God consciousness is at a higher level, and we can't all lift to that level because it's a different vibration for us. So it's the same with a negative being. It's a different vibration. Sometimes the vibrations are just strong and we can't determine it. And sometimes they're just very negative.
Are they lost souls? Are they sad? They don't know how to leave this earth?
Some of them are sad. Some of them are contacting you because what happens is, let's say that you as an individual are in your home and you're having a lot of contact with beings, not just within your home, but you're always the Murphy's Law. Why is me? Why is the sky falling on me all the time? Why am I can never get what I want. My hair never goes up the right way. My makeup never goes on right. I can't get the job. So there's a negativity that's constantly following you around, and you're attracting more when you're at a low energy or at a low vibe, kind of like an alcoholic. Let's say they're always continuously negative in their body, negative with the people they hang out with. And so when you take that, it's that almost that it's that type of energy that constantly you magnetize that negativity because you're at a low vibration. You're at the low vibration of the scale.
As a child, were you ever involved with a poltergeist?
No, I wouldn't really say. I guess that depends on what your definition of poltergeist is. Are you saying just a dark being, or
the being that really concentrates on children?
Oh, the children. Not for me per se. It wasn't anything that was coming towards me or towards me as a child, but just towards me because of my light. And when you shine light, the beings contact you kind of like moths to the flame.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to take that light. And they're trying to challenge you. So the more light you show, the higher you vibrate, the more you're going to come into different dimensions and different beings.
Did you learn to do this from your mother?
Yes, some of it. But as a child, to go through the houses, we went together to clear the houses. But it wasn't in a blessing energy. And it wasn't as we didn't put the protection on, let's say, the protective shield, or say a protective prayer, or really take care of ourselves, put that suit of armor on.
And you now understand to do that. Are you still involved with doing this sort of thing?
I do. I work with taking the negative energies out, especially now with so much going on and such a large fear dynamic. We're at a low vibration.
As a psychic surgeon, is this what you do?
Yes. Taking out some of that as a psychic surgeon is what are you holding on to in your soul? What is holding on to you maybe in the past that you've done that you haven't let go of yet? To kind of each pain has a certain sympathy level, like back pain, feeling unsupported. Well, where were you unsupported as a child? You can go back into that shadow work and find that attachment and remove it. Some of that's removing attachments, or those energies that attach to us, or the beings. Some of that, yes. Some of it's clearing the negative energies, kind of like a depossession, and taking that out, moving that along. But in that is not just a one and done. It has to be a set. It is a mindset, and you have to, it's sort of like you're going through AA in your mind. You have to remember that everywhere you go and forever, you have to constantly protect yourself and make sure that you're thinking ahead of what you're doing and really always being in the light.
When you speak about that, working in the quantum field, I understand negative thoughts bring negative energy. Positive thoughts bring positive energy. And when you condition yourself and train yourself to say, not now, when the negativity comes in, and you replace it with something beautiful, you progress and actually can use the light as you do. Going back to something that I've actually read about you is when you were little, and you are a person after my own heart, because I saw these beings as well. You saw fairies.
Oh, yeah.
Do you still see them?
I do. I see them when I go up to Mount Charleston. So being in Las Vegas, I'm in the middle of the desert, right? But I love to get away, escape, and go to the high mountain and just go out alone and to the trees and be with the fairies and be with that energy and feeling that energy and feeling that lift and that fun and that lightness. And not all of them are full of joy, but they've got that kind of jovial fun, that just dance like no one's watching kind of feeling, right?
Yeah, I hear you there, girl.
And it's just that beautiful richness back to the earth and the connection to the energy of the trees and the land and the other spirits as well. And remembering that that's there, remembering that other world is there, but not to open it because right now they need to be protected.
They certainly do. Explain to the listeners about the essence of nature, like a tree or a flower, and the fairy that's attached to it, the being.
It's kind of hard for me to explain over and above what's usually in a book. It's the feeling you capture almost in that moment, that you want to capture it in a glass jar, like a firefly. And you just, the resonation that you feel, that we are so closed off from sometimes in our mind's eye, and the way we want to see the world is such a solid object. But when you go to that and you feel it's grounding, take your shoes off, stick your feet in the dirt. It's so good for every part of your body, that connection and that vibration. And you're just hugging a tree, right? You know?
I hear you. I mean, when
you're literally doing it. Yeah.
There's nothing like hugging a tree. We're tree huggers.
Yeah. But you're really feeling that conversation. And it's the same as opening your third eye. What do you really feel? What are you seeing? Feel the tree or the sap in the tree or how the bark is on the tree and the development of the tree, and watch is it the tree a yearling? Is it just new? Is it growing? And how is it blossoming? And how the pine needles on it, because we have a lot of pine trees up in the forest, and how are the pine needles coming off and the pine cones, and what's around the circle of the tree, and how is it growing, and what's resonating around that. And just really feeling into that and seeing the fair. And one time I was making a video up there, and you see these little orbs that you catch, right? Because you see them and you're like, oh, I see it. And then you don't think about it when you're so into the meditation and you're so into talking to them and conversing with them and connecting to them. And then you capture it on video, or you see the little orb floating around, and it's amazing.
It totally is. And I wish for so many more people to open the third eye to be able to see what's always been there, because it's magical.
Right. Oh, absolutely. It's like, when you're talking about fairies, they're like little hummingbirds. So when you have a lot of flowers, or you want to have them come into your garden, you put like maybe a fairy house or little bells, pretty trinkets that they like to come and see. little baubles. You can make an area or a space that they can come into. So you're making it friendly, just as you would for a bird feeder or a fountain of water for the birds to come into. And that's what they like because they want to generate.
The people in the Far East, like in Thailand, where I've been, and Bali, they have spirit houses. And generally it's at their front gate because they work with feng shui and that sort of thing. And they put out their little flowers and they put out their little bowls of water. And they make these magnificently beautiful houses. And the last time I was in Bali, I actually looked at them and thought, I must make one of those houses too. So perhaps we could start a sideline making fairy houses. What do you think, Nicole?
I'm all for it. I could sit there for hours with a glue gun and some paint and you take a little wooden house and how you do it. If you watch videos online, these people make these extraordinary, beautiful houses for them.
Absolutely. Now, speak to me about the light beings. How do you communicate with them? And explain about light beings.
So light beings are of a different energy. And we had talked about vibration. So they're at the higher vibration, at your high heart, your higher chakra, and connection with it. I'm not one that has to go into an extreme meditation. I believe and I walk in the energy constantly. So they're there with me and we're constantly conversing. And if I feel that when I'm away from them or I am detached in this world of the third world on the planet here, of this third dimension, I should say, that I'm not having contact with them or we're not conversing, then I have to detach and separate. And just talk to them, allow them to come in, whether it's in a lucid dream state, in a dream state, or walking the earth. But your higher beings are here to help you. Your higher beings are here to contact you and give you extraordinary information. And we all have the programs within us, kind of like the crystal skull. We all have the program in us like a big computer. It's all at a cellular level. We just have to contact it. If our cells aren't repopulating positively in better energy, in a higher energy, then they're populating at a negative energy and you're not having that contact because you're at a lower vibration. You can't see it. You can't see the forest through the trees. You got to open that door up and allow them to come into you and just talk to you always. They're always there with you. Why not have a conversation while you're driving down the road? Because you want the light beings. You want to have... You want to be safe and you want to be safe in your drive, just as simple as that. And it's always coming back to your heart energy as your heart awakened. So your mind can awake and you can see and hear and bring them in and protect you. And your life gets better with that. It's not all unicorns and rainbows. And sometimes we wish it was, but we're here to serve that purpose on this earth. But you can have these higher beings in that stronger, positive energy, in that higher vibration and get some stuff done, get the work done that we're meant to be here, kind of like missionaries on this earth to heal the earth and protect it.
So they are your team. They're your guides, your angels. And do you channel?
Yes, I channel, and I didn't realize for a long time what I was doing. So everybody has their little cliche meditation or circle or empowerment, and I love that. I love getting together with the tribe, and hanging out with them too, but didn't realize all the information I was getting. When you don't understand what you're getting downloaded with this beautiful program, then you can't kind of regurgitate that beautiful information out and bring it out in an auditory form. And that's part of me as a speaker, is learning how to give it out and share it with people in a message that they can hear, not necessarily my message. I love the knowledge and I'm a research fanatic, but realizing, I'm getting downloaded with this. I don't have to read this book for the 100th time. If I just snap out of it and pay attention, then I can share that. And it's so simple. And for me, it's really dissecting the what people have made it so technical. We're simple human beings, and I love to share quick life hacks. If you simplify it, you'll understand the reality of it, and how simple life is meant to be. That is why people, I believe, in other places that live in different parts of the country are so happy, with their tribe or their real tribe, with a family, or being nomadic somewhere in Alaska with their reindeer, because they are sharing of the earth, and they're constantly channeling and moving and bringing that at an earthly level, because we're all receiving that information. We just have to plug into it. And we need to defrag that computer. And for a long time, that was my frustration too, was being so enclosed in those negative energies and kind of letting them have the win all the time. I didn't realize how smart I was or what I really knew. And that's for a lot of us, because I suffered through dyslexia, and I had epilepsy. So that kind of is a neurological thing. It really messes with your mind. But when you heal and you start to listen and you start to heal yourself, you can share that energy and that beautiful channeling, and it constantly just comes in and it constantly puts out. But it's also when we talk about second guessing ourselves and being in a sabotage state or feeling an imposter syndrome that we're not enough. And that's a lot of times why, because we don't allow ourselves to share the beautiful information that we know. We just want to shut it in.
You say you had epilepsy. Did you heal yourself?
Yes, I no longer take medication. And that was, yeah, thank you. That was through the healing with the energy. And, epilepsy is a neurological disorder, so it affects the nerves, it affects the brain. But when you start aligning your energies and start allowing them to flow freely instead of blocking them off, allow your energies to feel, allow your senses to feel, think, share, touch, taste, smell. You will allow yourself that awakening. And then that energy cycles through you. It moves through you. You detoxify, you clean, you cleanse, and you get all that stuff out. And that energy flows through you. And as I allow that and accept that. I mean, I couldn't pick up a book and read for a long time. So I had a hard time kind of focusing my mind and saying things because I couldn't put them together. And it was inarticulate, and it was very frustrating how to get it out of my mouth, but it was stuck in there for a long time. And so with doing that, with healing, exercise, meditation, and really opening up to the beings around me and sharing that energy vibration. And when you allow it to flow and allow it to channel, it comes through you freely. And and just accept it.
Did your light beings help you when you were channeling to understand dyslexia and epilepsy?
Yes. And for me, it was getting rid of that anger and that frustration, and that which blocked it. And it blocks you at a soul level, and it blocks you at a cellular level, and it stops everything. And when you think you can't, you can't. And so when you think you can, you can. And so when you start to see how certain blockages affect you at that cellular level and affect you mentally, then you can see past them. And it's just reorganizing the puzzle pieces and getting the nerves to reconnect. And part of that is if you're taking medication, it blocks all the connection. And a heavy medication, if you don't have to take it, it allows you to naturally heal and come back and regenerate those connections. Because when you're epileptic, it's like you're a frayed cord, and that energy is kind of trying to jump the fray of the cord and connect to the other side. So it's missing some of the connection. So you're not getting the full vibration of the energetic connection from the plug. And you can't just keep taping it together. And that's kind of what taking medication does. It's really when you're healthy and your body's flowing, especially your emotions, you have a brand new cord, and you can get that continuous AC/DC wattage connection at the highest rate that you're allowed to get. So you're a continuous conduit of the energy. And as the energy moves, your cells reignite and they start to separate and heal. And that you can start to reprogram your cells with new positive energy and new thoughts. And every day as you work to reconnect that, that regenerates and you change it at an alchemical level. That's just a scientific way that it happens. And so your body changes that way naturally. And you learn new habits. I couldn't even keep a habit because I couldn't remember it, or I would forget it, or I would get frustrated. And that's how it affected me too, not just in reading, but in life. And I had to reprogram everything. And it was so frustrating. But as I started to reprogram that, I started to wake up to the beings around me and what was helping me, asking for help and getting the help and just asking for the sign that something I can understand. And forgiving
yourself. That's the most important thing. And then loving yourself. Tell me, part of your healing, you spoke earlier on about nutrition. What kind of diet is it that you changed and started to use along with the help of your light beings and your rethinking and self-love?
Once I opened from the forgiveness and healing my heart and myself, it was really, I'm not of any specific diet, but I added green drinks or energy drinks, natural things, fruits and vegetables at a concentrated level, supplements. Detoxing helped a lot. Natural detoxing, flushing the system out, and at a biogenetic level, just cleansing out with natural herbs. And so I got into aromatherapy. I got into herbs. What can heal me that's from the earth, because I don't have a connection to the earth. So I need to get as much earth inside of me as I can. Sunshine, walking, and then essential oils are concentrated. And, they don't have the GMOs, or get as much organic as you can, or add the light to it. Adding herbal supplements that would cleanse my body, because herbs, when they go in, natural things go into your body, they go in where they're needed. The rest flushes out. However, if you eat junk, and I went from a fifth of Jack Daniels and a pack of cigarettes, that was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And I didn't eat. I was anorexic for a long time because food made me sick and I was allergic to so much stuff. It was the toxins in the food or what I ate. And starting to eat, adding salads, adding fruits, adding vegetables, finding what I liked, what appealed to me. Not what somebody prepackaged and sold me, but what appealed to me, and really vibrating at this. Okay, I like this. This is how it makes me feel. So starting with one thing at a time. I like green apples, or do I like red apples? And what can I mix it with that will help me? And just, voiding everything out of your body, cleansing that out and letting that flow come in. And that took a long time.
It certainly sounds as if self-care is imperative to all of us. Would you say that as a child, working with these entities when you were clearing houses affected you adversely towards ill health?
Both. It was genetics, DNA, and the composition, how I came out at a chemical level. We're all chemical beings, but also with these energies. And so it was twofold. And so it's what I had understood as a child, what I understood as these dark energies compounding themselves. And so we all have kind of a certain makeup of what we're attracted to and how we're going to be just in our bodies, our DNA level, how we're going to survive in the world, and what survival skills we come to the world with, or what we have learned from our parents or our environment. And adding that to it made it even worse, because I was already sick as a child. And then to compound that and to close that off, my spirit team was closed off from me. And then not having a family around me that understood health, or exercise or sunshine or laughing for that matter, being in your heart space. And so moving into that just compounded. It was like a tornado.
So true. Universe, my great big mantra to my clients. Universe understands joy, laughter, and fun. It is that's nutrition. That's nutrition to the soul. And just looking at you, I mean, you just, everybody, if you could see Nicole, she's beautiful. She's got wonderful skin and she's fabulous teeth and she's beautiful. Tell me, Nicole, how do you help your clients?
Well, thank you for that compliment. What girl doesn't want to hear these wonderful things? How I help my clients is really seeing the reality of what is on this third dimensional level, where we're at, where we want to be, and where we're at a soulful level, how that affects us. How can you live this life simply, but yet energetically? You have to understand the dynamics and the environment around you and what your goals are. What do you have around you that you can survive with? What do you have that can bring you up? And what do you have to understand? We really need to understand what's really going on in our environment around us. How much of that is ours? And how much of that, even though we're a collective consciousness, we have to heal ourselves first. We have to go within so we don't go without. We don't have self-love, forgiveness, and we cannot empower ourselves with the energies we have. We could take all these healing classes and use all the modalities we want, but there's some of us that kind of get into that, and that's our only life raft. Do it yourself. I'm a real kick you in the pants, you got to get out there, try it yourself kind of person.
I love that. Good for you, girl. So you're a soulful coach. How long have you been working as a soulful coach?
I started working for myself this year and just really doing this program. And it's so beautiful to awaken your heart, but it awakens your mind. And it's a program really to get you together to say, hey, this is really what I need to look at. Let's heal the shadow and the inner child and move forward and get over ourselves and move forward and be productive. Be the person we want to be and speak our truths, but speak it from the heart, at a heart level, with our love language, and not attack. And how do you see that realistically when you're healing that shadow self and that inner child? What do you have to heal to move forward and be successful? So it's not a one and done. It's working with the modalities of the energy. Maybe you're sabotaging yourself, but why? Why does your body not want to heal and be successful? Because your body thinks that, or your subconscious thinks that you're not going to be in a safe place. And sometimes you just need to kick your subconsciousness to the side and be like, look, I am good. I am this person and I am strong enough. So let's find out what your strengths are and kind of delegate towards that. So it's kind of like being a leader or a manager and finding out what this person has, their foundation, and every different fragment of them, because we all kind of have a different way or personality for everything that we do. So let's juxtapose the position and delegate to your fragmented troops which one needs to step up to the plate and at what time. It's kind of like that power business suit you have when you're speaking on stage, or you have your comfy pajamas when you're on your sofa. So you're kind of a little bit of a different person, but let's see which one needs to kind of take over. But as you do that, that doesn't mean that you have to be the diva all the time. You don't have to be the boss lady all the time. Sometimes you just have to go and play. Adversely, you can't be the baby and you can't be in your house slippers all the time.
You certainly can't. Is this part of your signature program? Do you have a signature program?
Yeah, that's absolutely it. It's a heart awakening. So in the Soulful Coach, it's an illuminating program for people. And what I do is I have them call me for a discovery call, and we really get to a consultation on who you are and what you want to be. What do you want to grow into? What I work with is mainly women at about 40, 45, 30 and above. The kids are out of the house. You've kind of got an empty nest. And during this time, some of us we've brought our kids back to the house, or our family, our parents, right? But now that that's gone, now that they've either gone to college or gone on their own, and you're finding now, okay, I'm with this, maybe I'm alone or I'm with my partner. How do I want to have a loving relationship? And what do I want to do now? Do I want to take off to Tahiti, or do I want to start a business? What is it that you want to do right now? Let's find yourself, find that faith and that love and that dynamic that's you. Who were you when you were a teenager? And you just shut that off because maybe you got married and had kids. You chose that. And that's a beautiful thing. But be thankful for what you have done. And let's break that glass ceiling and move forward from that. And that empowerment at the cellular level and that transformation, let's rewire your brain and change who you are. Stop sabotaging. Stop feeling like you're an imposter, because there's so many women, especially in their 40s, who have these degrees and have this power and have this connection and have this network group of people, and we don't utilize it. We have tools. Yeah, the tools are in our shed and they're rusting.
That's a lovely analogy. As a psychic medium, do you use this in your coaching, or is it a separate part of your wonderful offers to the people who are listening?
It can be separate, but I feel that it empowers the person to open to their intuition and listen. And it has helped me come to the point of where I am and restart my life, is when you open your psychic and your intuition. And I go in, it's the same with a psychic surgery, reading your energy. Where do you need to heal? What's the part of you that needs to heal? What part of you do you need to forgive? And how can you move forward? So it's definitely energy healing. It's using the tools of the psychic. It's understanding what's the vision going forward, and how to empower yourself to be the strongest. Because as a psychic, I can tell you what I see, and I can tell you kind of here's the future that I'm being shown, but here's how to positively grasp it. I want to give you the tools and empower you to get to that point, so you don't fail.
Fantastic. What is a crystal Reiki master? I know. I would like you to tell everybody else what it is.
It's absolutely using as a conduit that we all are, and using our energy. And for me, Reiki is just another form, like being a shaman or any other energy that we utilize, and adding the empowerment of crystals and using them as a conduit. Because for me, growing up, I met Marcel Vogel. My mother worked with Marcel Vogel. And using the power of just the quartz crystal and how it is a repeater, like a radio. And if you want to get your energy out there, you just use it like a radio. It's like a podcaster. We have to have a simulcast from somewhere. So we put ourselves, let's say, on iTunes or Spotify. As a crystal Reiki master, those are crystals out there, and I'm sending the energy as far as I can, or as strong as I can, to find that healing for you and to move it forward, to open you up, open your aura up, help you empower your Kundalini awakening, help you open and fix and heal, and add that light and that love, and empower you to have your personal healing and move forward. And that's very important to utilize what we have on this earth.
Totally is. You spoke earlier on about the crystal skull. Explain.
Oh, huge. I'm very much the proponent that the crystal skull, our brain is the same like a computer. And we have been embedded with information in our body. It's within our DNA. And if we don't use the knowledge and the programming in our mind to open and awaken our DNA and our cells, then we are just an old computer in the corner with a ton of knowledge, like an old library, the Akashic records. We all have that. We all have the ability to contact it. Sometimes we need a hand, and that's okay. You need some guidance. But we have that information and we need to connect. But the reverberation of the crystal skull, the way it is developed as a skull, and I'm very much into skulls as ancestors, as the knowledge, as the wisdom, as the memory of our ancestors, and that we can harvest it or keep it into one space. And again, crystals are the repeaters of energy. And so it's all in this one beautiful place, just like a skull. And that represents just the dynamic of the knowledge that we have and the wisdom, kind of like as we used to have the spoken word and we would share the information. And it's the auditory level of awakening our mind. And it's the tonality of that. And that's what the crystals have, the wave and those patterns. And they talk and they repeat. And as the skull has that pattern, it has the knowledge and the empowerment. And it is the old school computer, because our computers have, just like our phones, they have crystals in them. They all have a crystal empowerment. So it's almost the exact same thing. When you look at Google, you go in there and you type something in and you get all this information. It's the search engine you use and the question you ask it. And once you get that information, what do you do with it? And the same with a crystal skull, the same with a crystal. What are you asking it? What are you allowing to come in? Are you allowing it to flow, that energy to flow freely so you can channel and you can constantly download and hear? And when you have this protection encased in one little beautiful crystal skull, and it just empowers your DNA, and it just gets that connection at an ancestral realm, and allows that DNA to kind of reprogram and repopulate, and just open your body at a different level.
And it's all nature. It's
yes,
all part of universal energy. So wonderful. You're a speaker, a powerful speaker on spiritual education. What are your talks about?
I love to talk about crystals, energy frequencies, quantumizing everything. Quantumizing is this empowered, concentrated form of energy in one place, just like a crystal skull, and sharing with the public how you can use it in your life. Because we can't all go to the grocery store, stand in line, and light our sage because they'll kick us out of the store and try to heal the people around us because they may not want the healing. But how can we do it at a level where we can conduct ourselves every day, where we can empower ourselves to be an enlightened being, and that way be the conduit, again, of energy to other people to absorb that and to open up other people through ourselves, and how to have fun with it, how to know that it's a simple life hack, that it's a simple trick, that it's not supposed to be complicated. How do you do that with your meditation? Just put your monkey mind to the side and allow it to just put it in the basket, and let it be there, because you can get the milk in your list later, and how to just empower yourself through daily life.
Fabulous. Which old world traditions do you work with?
I work with that at the ancestral level and creating the oneness. So what I work with is the tradition of connecting to the earth and bringing the earth to you as much as you can if you can't be there, and connecting to the spirits, getting outside and just letting that freely go, connecting to the spirit, maybe your spirit animal, the trees, the universe, the fairy, what's outside, and how does it work with the energies of you, and just letting that go. And how can we incorporate that into our house? Well, we can have a plant in our house, or we can bring some crystals into our house, because crystal caves are the underworld. And how can we just bring the little things into our home and bring that into our oneness? Sound healing, using drums, using tonality. And for years, singing bowls, crystal, Reiki, crystal bowls. I use those in a crystal meditation, bringing the sound back in. And it's been there for years. And how do you incorporate it into your daily life where it can change you and your family? It can change your environment. It can enlighten you. And working with energy is everywhere. That's all old school stuff. Working with our ancestors and respecting that. And that goes back to the skulls. What in your lineage do you have? What power, what magic do you have in your lineage that you need to bring of this earth that you can work with on a daily basis without having to do a 12-hour ritual to kind of empower ourselves right now? Because the way the world works and the energy works, it's almost like you feel a year in a week. And so things are progressing quickly, and we have to be able to hone that magic quickly. We have to get away from all that. And so it's getting back to nature. It's getting back inside ourselves and to bring that oneness and to stop separating everything. We can't put everything in a different box or file it away. We are all one. And to get that oneness, you have to bring that all in and to accept the energies. Bring the energy of the world. Maybe it's a little bit of astrology and awakening all those old tools that we have and seeing how it affects us today, how it works with us, because these magical books that we have, the Torah, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Bible, if you bring all these together, it's just information and knowledge from our forefathers bringing to today. And how can you simplify that?
That's a wonderful explanation. And the saying that's been going around forever, the power of one, is exactly as you've explained, where we are all energy, we are all one, and we're separate, and we have the ability to understand our I am. So when you understand your I am, love yourself, you have time to love others. And that is what the power of this entire interview has been, is understanding the power of love. So when you love yourself, you healed yourself from epilepsy, dyslexia, and not being well. That's incredible. Incredibly powerful. What is alchemical? Say it for me. Transformation.
Alchemical?
Alchemical.
It's transforming at the chemical level. We're chemical beings. It's our structure. We have a chemical makeup, and there's chemical compounds within our body. And so alchemical is changing the chemistry of what is us, and the power to do that, like the Rosicrucians did, or like the alchemist in the olden day did, or we had magic, or there was Merlin. What chemicals or what parts of the earth, what herbs or oils or plants can we put in our body to change and resonate? And that is a chemical. Everything breaks down to a chemical compound. It's on the chart. Everything is made through chemistry almost. It's natural. It's there of the earth. And as we put it in our body, it changes us. As we meditate and rise and find our superpower, we manifest magically into a different being. And that is another chemical change. And that changes your structure. And your structure, when they test you at a blood level, if you have thyroid or diabetes, that's a chemical level, and you can cure that. And now your chemical structure has changed. So that is the chemistry of you in a nutshell.
So you are an alchemist. You are a white lady, a Lady Merlin. Is that what you are?
Oh, I'll take that.
I believe that's
I love
what
that.
you are. We have to recreate this wonderful Nicole, the white lady, white witch. Perfect. I am so glad that we discovered that. Explain peer soulful coaching. Steps to freedom, fear, elimination.
We all have a certain amount of fear, and that's what sabotages us. We are afraid of ourselves. We are afraid of our success. We are afraid of our magical power. It's like watching Harry Potter. When the kids get this magic, or they get their animal, right? They get their owl, or they get their bird, or their frog, or what is your spirit animal, right? When you get your magic wand, they don't know what to do with it. That's the conduit. Your wand is the conduit of your energy. And how do you take that where you're not afraid of it? And so take the fear away from yourself. So we're living in fear, and it's almost like there's the great Oz behind the curtain, right? And we're all the Lilliputians being told what to do or how to live, except we're not dancing and having fun. We're in fear. And there's something that it's almost in the universe that eats that fear and thrives off that fear. Kind of like Monsters, Inc., where they come to the kid's house and they come out of the closet and they just want to take all the fear energy. They realize that if you laugh and love and you giggle and you play, you have that higher energy, and it comes quicker. It's a better energy. It resonates longer. And that's the fear of you. And it's, what if this? And what if I do this? What if I sabotage myself? What if I fall on my face? What if? Okay, well, what if you succeed? What if you leap into your success? What if you're able to love? What if you're able to find that freedom of what is you, the forgiveness to be successful, and to get, find out that shadow and interpret it. Get the roadmap of what is you, see what's around you, and interpret it so you can awaken and change and reprogram your mind. Become what you're meant to become, that strong person, that intelligent person, the person that you are. Bring that out. Stop being the imposter. So play what truly is yours.
And that's what your incredible coaching brings out in your clients. I want you to share something with me. Do you have a spirit animal?
Mine is an owl, really.
Mine is an owl as well.
Oh, wow. And for me, it represents not only the knowledge and the night, but it represents, the other world contact.
And a wise woman.
Ah, there we go. Yes.
Nicole, I could carry on talking to you forever. And I have to let everybody know, Nicole got up at 3 a.m. in the morning to speak to me here at 8 p.m. the day after her day. I'm a day ahead. And I appreciate that so much, Nicole. Thank you so much. I resonate with you incredibly on many different levels when it comes to fairies, light beings, entities from the outer realms. It's been so wonderful sharing with you. I am very grateful to have had you on Awaken Your Mind Magic.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's great to share with you.
I would like, before we close this conversation, for you to let the listeners know how to contact you. And I did hear you mention about a strategy session. If you can just explain a bit further.
People can contact me online. I'm at illuminatevegas.com, or my email is illuminatingvegas@gmail.com. And book a discovery call. It's free. Discover who you are. Let's discover how we can help you move forward into your freedom, reprogram your mind, and get you set straight.
Thank you so much. All of these links will be along with this wonderful podcast. So you can contact Nicole and get that strategy call. She's fascinating. She's lovely as well. She's a white lady. So thank you for being with us on Awaken Your Mind Magic and sharing this incredibly fascinating story. I know the people listening will be intrigued with your gifts and all that you do.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. I'm going to bed, actually. You have a great day. Bye now. That's Awaken Your Mind Magic for another week. If anything you've heard today has really impacted you and you want to know more, or you would just like to connect with me, then visit my website, awakenyourmindmagic.com, and reach out for a free one-on-one discovery session with me.
Silver on the outside, silver on the outside, gold on the inside. Silver on the outside, gold on the inside. Silver on the outside.
Tune in next week, where I'll be discussing more tools to unlock your dreams and live a limitless life that you would truly love to live. I'm Susan Kathleen, and this has been Awaken Your Mind Magic.